Hi, sorry for the delay.
Okay, so we will open the Tuesday, October 20th meeting in the Winchester Select Board. We have a quorum established with Select Board members Susan Fradicchio as Vice Chair, Jackie Welch, and myself serving as Chair. So this is a fairly formulaic event where we have to accept the open meeting law complaint and appoint counsel. So I think Susan has a motion. If I don't know, Mina, if there's anything else that you wanted to add.
No, just to clarify what this is regarding, for those who might be viewing it, this is the open meeting law complaint filed by Miss Dale. We've taken a look at it. We don't think there was an open meeting law violation. Just to give you a sense of our review so far, the only open meeting law related issue is whether or not a member of the public has a right to speak at an open meeting of the select board, and whether she was denied the right to do that. The AG's office, which interprets the open meeting law, has interpreted the statute unequivocally to allow the chair, in his discretion, to allow or disallow public comment or public input, other than in times when a other statute like a hearing is required, like in liquor licensing, for instance. So the fact that someone could not or did not have an opportunity to speak at a meeting is over and over something the AG has found is not a violation. Under the open meeting law, the board is required to meet and review the complaint within 14 days of its receipt. That's what this meeting is for. In order to ask anyone else to prepare a response on its behalf, which the town typically, the select board at least, typically has done in these settings, you have to do that in a formal meeting. That's what I think the chair was alluding to with respect to the motion to delegate to us as town council to respond. And that's it. This was regarding the joint meeting on October 5th, I want to say. And so the planning board met yesterday, took a similar vote, and decided to respond to it themselves. But I believe the motion before you is to ask us to respond as town council.
Can I just ask you one clarification? Thank you so
Sure.
much, Attorney Macarius. I appreciate the detail. And this is kind of irrelevant to what we're actually doing today, so I apologize for the kind of 10-second departure. But I thought the actual issue that was raised, maybe I'm wrong, and obviously it doesn't really matter, like I say, for the vote. But I thought the issue was whether or not the candidates were allowed to hear each other's interviews.
That's essentially the same question in a way, Jackie. The board had available to the public a way to watch all of the interviews happening, and that's what the public's entitled to. In what each interviewee is not entitled to is the opportunity to speak. So Ms. Dale's complaint does mention that she wasn't allowed to listen to other interviews, and then goes on to say that had she been in the room at the end of the meeting, she may have said something about the vote. That's really the crux of it.
I didn't know that part of it. I knew,
yeah.
I had just heard about the part where she didn't get to hear other people's interviews or something.
And my understanding, and we'll confirm this, is that the meeting was broadcast. In fact, I know it was because I've watched parts of the tape. Was broadcast on WinCam simultaneously, and that is sufficient for open meeting law purposes.
Right, meaning that she could have, even though she was like leaving the Zoom for the purposes of the interview, she could have watched it.
Yes, and in fact, towns have been using the sort of panelist versus video, streaming video setup pretty regularly in the Zoom world for a variety of reasons. It's almost equivalent of having somebody at the table versus watching in the audience.
Right, and I understand. And is she claiming that she wasn't informed of that or something? Because I do remember hearing that they were supposed to leave after the interview, but I'm just kind of curious.
I'm not sure if at least I don't recall that level of detail about whether she was informed of that or not. Again, that doesn't, whether that's a good practice in the future to tell candidates in an interview or not, it doesn't rise to an open meeting law violation.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I just wasn't sure. Thanks.
Just to put a finer point on it, if you had another topic at this agenda, which you don't, you could kick me off, and I could watch somewhere else, and that'd be just fine. I'm only relevant to this topic, so you can get rid of me afterwards from the panelists, and that'd be fine.
Right, I understand. Thank you.
Thanks, Mina. So if there aren't any other questions, I think that we've got a motion to move forward. Susan, if you have it.
Yeah, and just to be clear, we're talking about the email that Sally Dale sent. I think it was the 8th, right? Is it the email? Is the complaint?
It was included with the email was a formal open meeting law complaint in a PDF, which articulates some of the same points.
Got it.
But it had the form. She properly filled out the form in time with the clerk's office.
Okay. All right. So then I'll go ahead and move that the town council, Anderson and Krieger, be asked to prepare a response to Sally Dale's open meeting law complaint dated October 8th, 2020, and the town council and the town manager be authorized to submit said response to Ms. Dale.
And just as a clarification, that sounds fine. I second that, but do we also need to indicate some? Are we supposed to send anything to the AG's office, or town council will take care of that on its own?
I will on my own. That's required. A copy goes to the AG. I will.
Right. Okay. That's what I thought. Okay. Thank you. Second.
Okay. All in favor? I'll take a roll call vote. Susan?
Yes.
Mariano, I think you're there.
Are you muted?
I think he's muted. Let me see. Just wait 1 second. And Mariano, are you there?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm dialed in. Yes, I vote yes.
Okay. And Jackie?
Yes.
And yes for me. The motion carries unanimously, 4-0. We'll take this is the only thing that we have on the agenda for this meeting, so we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? I'll take a roll call vote. Mariano?
Yes.
Jackie?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And yes for me. The motion carries unanimously, 4-0. Thank you, everybody, for coming in quickly for this meeting. Really appreciate it. I know it's been a lot of meetings lately, so thank you. We'll
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.